Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you have had a fairly energized first session. So I come from the company called WebEngage, and we are a marketing automation platform. And essentially, I think the hook for my conversation started when the conversation today morning started with personalization as an angle. So if I don't have a baby in my house, don't send me messages about nappies. That's the reality of a lot of business communication that's happening now. And given that the whole retail ecosystem is moving towards omni-channel, which is the convergence of offline and online experiences, and consumers today don't want a personalized experience, they expect it. Unfortunately or fortunately, thanks to the likes of Amazon and all of these guys, it's become the default, it's become the new normal, which means if you're not participating in that data-driven communication, you're probably going to disappoint your consumers in some sense. And hence, we have a fairly diverse and interesting panel across different verticals within business. I see people from IT, I see people from business side, and I see somebody from supply chain as well. So great to have this panel with diverse viewpoints put together. Just to get the context set right, it'll just be good to have a context on where you stand in your omni-channel journey. So what percentage of your business is already online? Where are you moving in that direction? And from the supply chain perspective, if you've seen, let's say, companies at different stages, so we'd love to have that perspective as well. So we can roll with Amit. Maybe we can start the conversation there. Amit.
Thanks. So just a small introduction. My name is Amit. I'm from Shri. We are a young ethnic wear brand. And see, Omni is need of the hour. During this, increase in digitization, customers are also, customer behaviors are changing. So we need to adapt that behavior. And I believe it's very important that we introduce the technology timely and we interact with the customer. So the most important key in omnichannel is I believe that we should have a unified voice. So it's not like that I've got a message from online that there's a sale, but another message to the same customer that there is no sale, the fresh is launching. So unified customer interaction is engagement is very important. And so what we do, we have around 100 retail stores and we have our own brand portal. From marketplace, we have taken a little break, so which we are launching in summer next year, coming year. Okay, so we have a good chunk of business coming from online, our own brand and brand portal, and 100 stores, and we are digitizing our stores effectively and try to build many solutions from where we can interact and engage with the customer. We have a loyalty program launched. We have Shri Parivar is the name of the program. And so we see a lot of interaction and we see a lot of people coming back. So which is very important. I believe a returning customer is a backbone and omnichannel helps you in that, right? So this is the thing which I would like to say that we should not wait that new technology is coming every day, but we should not wait that we should adapt something and then start. So during COVID, when the COVID came, many were not having those technologies wherein you can interact. But what we did, we started sending PDFs. We started WhatsApp calls, like video calls. This is how you interact. So you should not stop the interaction. That is the key. So that's what I like.
So omni-channel is your predominant play, a big part of your business online.
Yes,
You're
yes,
doing
it is.
as much.
Not much. Yeah.
How about you, Apoorv?
Yeah, so I think a very interesting journey for us because pre-pandemic, so I actually call it like a decade. A pandemic has been a decade of learning for us. So pre-pandemic, we were a pure offline company. We had never thought about online. We were focusing on online with the myth that online will disrupt offline. Came the pandemic and we had no answer. In fact, I was out of job because I was thinking what to do in the first wave. But what we realized was that we could not sit. We had to take the store to the customer because the customer was not coming to the store. So with that strategy in mind, we created our online business, which was three parts of it. First part was enabling marketplaces because we had a lot of inventory, creating our own .com, and then enabling all the processes to make this business happen. Fast forward. Now I'm talking about post-pandemic. 100 crores business in online. It's a double-digit PAT business. So when people say it's not a profitable business, I disagree. It's the way you run the business. Second, data point that customer making their first purchase online or first two purchases online, 35% of those customers for their third and the fourth purchase are visiting offline, which means technically there's zero marketing cost for that customer in offline. You're getting that customer to experience online, but then he's coming for the experience to offline. So which is amazing for us. One more interesting data point. Earlier, we used to do a lot of marketing. We used to do a lot of hoardings, newspaper, radio, and we had no result of that. We used to touch the customer once in 6 months, and the customer used to visit our store once in 4 months or once in 3 months. If he was visiting our store once in a month, we used to call him the most loyal customer. But now I think with this entire digitalization, the game has changed. We are hitting that loyal customer, and our loyal customer is someone who that 10% customer contributes to 40% sale. We are touching that customer almost 5 times a month. We are interacting with that customer almost 7 times in a month. And it's very personal because, we know what he likes. We know what is he doing on our website. We know which brands is he looking at, what product categories he's looking at. And, we are able to talk to him. We are able to interact with him. We are able to personalize our offering to him. And because of that, when he's coming to offline, we're also able to improve our offering in terms of what he likes. So I think this entire game, which is I totally believe that online and offline are one game. It's the way you look at it. We may think in short term online will disrupt offline, but eventually what we have seen is, especially because we are a premium player, we play in the premium strata of brands. For us, I think it's very, very important to talk much more, engage much more with the customer. And we cannot do that with an offline only strategy. One more interesting point is that, which broke my myth, is that we earlier used to think that online is a purely discounted game. But it's actually not. It's completely changed with the pandemic coming in. It's become a game of convenience. For a person who wants convenience, is buying online. For a person who wants experience, is buying offline. And the early adopters, because we sell brands like GAN, True Religion, DKNY, and many more. For the early adopters who want to experience, who want to aspire to wear brands, they're maybe buying the brands at discount online. But as they're growing with us, they're coming to offline also, when they're able to afford those brands. So it's a beautiful game and it's helping each other. Both the channels are helping us. So for us, our long-term plan is to enable much more in Omni game. In fact, one beautiful thing is that our entire online game is on Omni. May it be marketplace, may it be our own .com. We fulfill from each and every store in the country. So our speed to the customer is also 12 hours to 18 hours. Our cost is 1/3 of the cost if you do it from a central warehouse. So obviously these all points are adding to a double-digit PAT online game. So yeah, that's my part.
Very interesting. So this takes us to the supply chain question, right? A lot of omni-channel play struggles with this aspect of maintaining at least the basic inventory levels in real time. Is that something you've seen as a common problem? How are brands solving for it? And is that like a prerequisite before you see omni-channel? Where do you see this?
That's a good question. I'm the kind of the odd person in this group.
Which is why I'm directing the other kind of question to you.
So, for one, I represent a company which is 64 years old. So that is something which people would aspire to be as part of a journey. I've been in the company for 22 odd years, and we have kind of walked through the entire consumer experience. Back in the 80s and 90s, it was more of a seller's market. There was rationing of everything. People would buy a Chetak scooter with foreign exchange. In the dawn of the 2000s, we had the retail boom coming in, what is somebody mentioned as the organized retail of the malls and all that coming up. We walked alongside that as well in terms of changing customer experiences. As an organization, we went online 15 years ago. We've been on the cloud since 2007, much before any retailer would have a point of sale record. And that time it was a 56K modem and you would have to have a very thin client. There's some feedback here. Our first experience with e-commerce or online was with TV shopping. I think nobody talks about it anymore, but that was about like
it's coming back, right? With all the what do you call it? Live commerce is coming back.
Yeah. So countries like Japan, where we studied their market, they would have the option of buying from the remote itself. In India, you had to make a phone call. but it did not take off in that. So that was the first experience. Then we have been partners with the likes of Amazon for 10 years now, and we understood how their systems work. Like you mentioned, I think that COVID was like a decade. I think what happened during this period was that probably 5-6 years of it was a catalyst. 5-6 years of growth happened in a couple of years. I'll take a case in point here. So the first part of COVID was very bad for apparel. The stores were shut. Nobody wanted anything besides innerwear. It was just a bloodbath for them. And at that point in time, the e-commerce 1.0 was that you would park your inventory in either an Amazon or a Flipkart, and your inventory would lie in their warehouse, and only they could sell that inventory because it was in their warehouse. I think apparel was the first one to look at multi-channel. So now we run a warehouse from the majors where the same inventory caters to a Flipkart, to a Tata Click, to a Ajio, to Amazon, and to everybody. Same inventory caters to all. So the obsolescence of inventory reduced. So that was like.
But does that also mean the real-time inventory status across these platforms is refreshed at the real data?
Yes, yes. So the difference in this warehouse management is that every SKU, if it's a white shirt of size 42, and there are 10 white shirts, they will still have a unique code to it. So one code is allotted to, let's say, to a Flipkart. The next one, some customer going, he will be getting maybe a different code for, maybe it's going from Amazon. So same inventory replicates that. Then we had one more version, one of electronics majors wanted to do D2C. Now so many terms have come in from B2B, B2C to D2C and hyper local and all that. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. So this electronics major, the number one company in the country, said that I have a warehouse and I am giving to other brands to sell my brand. Why should I do that? Let me create a small warehouse and I will do D2C, direct to consumer. So we started that last June. That's right. So in terms of the overall customer experience and the whole ecosystem, we believe it is not either online or offline. It has to be omni-channel. He should have the convenience to buy it, or the experience, as you very rightly mentioned, to buy from the other. And whatever said and done, at the end of the day, if it's going to be a product, it will require logistics, and the experience which he gets at the doorstep is what he thinks of the brand. So that is an area we also have to kind of ensure that the experience of delivery is as good as what he experienced it when he was looking at that website.
Sure. So having inventory real time does enable you with a lot of additional real time communication as well across multiple touch points. Because I remember this use case where a store does not have a certain size and they won't know what to tell the consumer. Now, if you also have a POS integration, the store salesman could actually say that, I can place this order for you, it'll get delivered to you tomorrow. Maybe you can pay now or pay cash on delivery or whatever. So the experiences which were not possible earlier are now possible with this. We have a very different category in that sense with Amit's, right? Sorry, Rahul, do you want to take that thread on how is the omnichannel play? What percentage of your revenue comes from online? How do you integrate data across two systems?
Sure, thanks. Great question. My name is Rahul Bharde. I'm the head of analytics for Jubilant Foodworks. We started in India as an omnichannel company. Today we talk about delivering grocery in 10 minutes. We perfected the art of making pizza and delivering in 30 minutes about 20 years back. Today, we've expanded into multiple different formats, and our endeavor is to connect farm to the feedback. We essentially do source and manufacture a lot of the code required in the restaurants. We own all the restaurants in India. We have our own app and call center for taking orders, and we deliver our pizza to customers. So in that sense, we control entire end-to-end experience for our customers. In terms of our strength of the online business, a big portion of our business today is online. Just to give you some numbers, last quarter we had 9 million downloads of our Domino's app. If you look at both Android and iOS, our app is rated the highest, ahead of Swiggy and Zomato. I think the millennials are changing very, very fast. My 3-year niece doesn't know alphabets, but she actually can search for the song or for the video. So they're learning to search before they can actually type, and we have to be able to be relevant to all the customers and meet them at where they want to meet us. So today, customers can reach out to us through our app. They can reach out to us through a desktop or a PWA, and the experience is exactly similar. They can reach out to us through an aggregator platform like Swiggy and Zomato. If you want to go and have a dine-in, you can place an order online and have it as a serving dine-in, or you can choose a takeaway, drive-through, delivery. All the different formats are possible. We're able to create a unified customer view across all these channels and understand.
Swiggy and Zomato, have you been able to crack that part that they give you the customer data?
So we uniquely position that we are the one who actually deliver the products.
Correct. This means
We have all the information about.
So are you able to say that okay, this customer ordered with Domino's app once, ordered twice, and then ordered with Swiggy once and Zomato once? Are you able to unify to that level?
Yeah, so we have all the customer interactions, not just the orders, but if they have feedback, they're searching for us really. In that doesn't really matter what channel customer is to us. Customer is
That's an
ours.
extreme privilege, right? Domino's has it. Most of the brands will not get something similar from an Amazon or a Flipkart as to what's the customer behavior like. So interesting position to be in.
Yeah, I mean, I think again, early investments into digital journey actually helped us, and the pioneer.
Plus your dominant position, right?
that certainly helps. Today we have 1,700 restaurants present in more than 350 cities. When we started Popeyes, our brand, we were able to take the first order within a few minutes online, and we started as the first brand per se, and we continue to evolve our customer experience in that space. We recently launched a loyalty program and received a massive success called as Piece of the Pie. So customer can earn points on any platform, and we can then reward customer for our continued engagement. Our NextGen app is getting launched. Some of it is already in the pilot stage, and I think we'll continue to create newer channels, newer formats to ensure that customers can reach out to us. Today, you can order us through Alexa or through WhatsApp. The volume is small, but we have a capability for us to reach, and that's where the new millennium is going. And I think I'm proud to say that we're on a journey, exciting.
Very interesting. So actually, you work with a lot of brands on the personalized communication side of things, from what I understand. You have, let's say, some sort of numbers on how this adoption of omni-channel is playing out. Are people using offline transaction information to also communicate with customers on WhatsApp? You mentioned the use case around accepting orders on WhatsApp. Would you have some anecdotes around that?
So, I'm not from, just to clarify, I'm not from retail.
I know you're from Gupshup.
Yeah, I'm from
that's what I'm saying, conversational example.
Yeah, just coming forward. So this online versus offline, I would say it's not a debate anymore, right? I mean, all
What's
of
the
us.
journey? I'm just curious about the percentage of.
Yeah, coming to that. So, as you rightly mentioned, some of one of the gentlemen mentioned that. So we got different confusing terms these days, B2C, etc. Why did the need arise for all of this? Okay, entry cost to an online forum. Okay, I mean, you had a retailer selling his products or manufacturing in one city, selling in the city. The online has just increased the reach of the product. Yeah, so simply from just a small player in one small city, somebody became a D2C brand per se. Okay. Now, it's more about the vertical integration, wherein not the vertical, the horizontal integration. It cannot be only online wherein you have an app or a website. Yeah? Online also offers multiple channels. Let's say a TV channel, which we just said, maybe telephone ordering, maybe not as popular as it used to be like 10 years back. As you said, WhatsApp commerce, this one new feature which is being recently launched, and the adoption to this, I mean, I will not have the numbers, but it's sort of like an inbound inquiry for me. Yeah, sure. For a sales guy who goes out and pitches or sells something. WhatsApp commerce is something which I feel that people have already adopted. I'm just just a path in the middle of it. Yeah, sure. And going forward, it's just not online. The 2-3 things that we spoke about, an app or a website or any other stuff, or just WhatsApp. How the things are shaping up in the future, you may never know. There'll be 10 more online channels, whereas multiple physical channels will always be present over there. So yeah, online has to co up with offline and move forward.
Sure. So we have a fairly, I think a fairly heritage brand. Can I call Liberty that? Because I've known it since I was born, pretty much, right? So you have a large retail footprint. I'm sure you have a fairly strong online play as well. Could you delve us a little bit, Mr. Ram, around how's your online play shaping? What percentage of business is already online? Marketplace versus direct? How does this look for you now?
We are in the online space 2012.
Sure.
And D2C brand, and we have offline presence also.
Of course.
And in this scenario, especially online and offline, we have collected the data from customer perspective, from basically core value basically. So whenever we talk about omni channel, and we should not forget about what is the core value, which is the customer experience, okay, irrespective of any channel, irrespective of my offline channel, online channel, or WhatsApp commerce, or social listening. What we did it because we have created the touch point on offline channel also and online channel also, and we capture the customer information very extensively and rigorously data, almost 10 and 15 million kind of data we have. And the way we have seen the result, we did this segmentation the way we have used, because we had a couple of data sciences in the organization, and we use a lot of algorithm inside the data and find out how we can remove the outliers, because a lot of fraudulent activity also. And the really awesome data we seen, and after that we seen how do we engage the customer. That is an important part, because right customer, right time, you will engage, you will able to connect respective on each channel.
And the right places, of course.
Yeah, right place also. That's the right thing. So in this case, what we did, we started, we know our customer, when customer will come, which day will come, what time he will come, and we know our system can predict when he will buy, because we know after 90 days, 100 days, we can engage proactively, because end of the day, till the time I will not recall or engage the customer again and again, because whenever he will buy, similar like when you're running the Facebook promotions or something, because you see, keep advertising, because if he calling, always give you, because whenever you do such kind of purchase, customer will reconsider to you. So similar way, and then we started, and because we never did the channelized promotion, purely we did the, because we made it a lot of personalized segmentation in our database. And interesting fact, we seen the customer who came last time continuously, he was coming 2015, 16, 17, he did not come. But 2018, 19, we see the significant growth is coming. I'm giving a right number from 0.5%, the first effectiveness was started on a promotion, then 1%, 2%, 3%, it's continuously going well. And customer, this is really, we are connecting. One is the digital connect, another is the emotional connect. We have put so much of energy, especially on the store size also, because end of the day, because they are facing a customer. Till the time they will not emotional connect with customer, they will not able to connect. So that's the part.
Very interesting. Yeah. So normally my ignorance maybe, but I wouldn't have imagined Liberty to be at the stage in terms of predictive modeling and guessing when the customer is coming next, what they're buying next. And that's very great credit to you for having pulled this off. We have Marks and Spencer here, who's I think a global brand and fairly robust in terms of technology practice globally. I would love to understand from you, Vishal, in terms of how this is playing out for you on the omni-channel side. I know that Marks and the app is installed on my wife's phone and we get shipments like all the time there. But how's the adoption? How's the integration between online and offline for you?
Very good afternoon to all, and thank you, Retail Association, for inviting me over. I think let's simplify this whole omni and thing. I have some friends sitting here in the audience. I think we can complicate our life as much as we want, but as leadership, we need to decide what we want to do in our purchase behavior and what we want to do in our post-purchase behavior. That's number one. Number two, what is our strategy in market, and basis that strategy, what is going to be my operating model. Okay, and it's very simple because we are living in such an exciting time where we have warehouse as a service, platform as a service, we have marketing agencies, they will provide you various services. So you don't have to complicate your life so much. Keep it very simple. That's my suggestion to everyone. You need to understand what you can do in a best manner to service your customer. Okay, so we have the beauty of India is our pin code structure is very well planned. 1 series, 2 series, 3 series. It's amazing. How do we leverage all of that, what is available in country, and then decide what capabilities and the architecture I need to build? What is my ambition in the market? That's very simple. Because building scale is very hard subject. Building relevance for customers is a very hard topic. You will meet various service providers, they will say, I can run this algo for you, we will do personalization for you, we'll do this, that. Sorry. First of all, you need to understand what stocks you have, what stocks you can service to best of your capabilities. What side? So as we say that you need to be self-aware, similarly for companies, they need to be self-aware. What capabilities they have, where they are in the whole curve of this customer journey, what they can do, what they cannot do. Once they decide what they can do, then they say, okay, fine, this is the capability I need to build internally. This is the capability I should just offload to someone who is expert in that area. End of story. That is how we should build the whole ecosystem. We should not, because if we just take services, buy, then who is going to stitch all of this? Please do not do things which you do not understand, because you will end up destroying the already available experience for customers. Okay, if you look at the best example is Primark in UK, they never believed in e-commerce. Even now, when they have launched e-commerce in UK, it is only click and collect. That's it. No shipment, no omni-channel. That's what they're calling omni-channel. So we need to learn and if you look at the way Target is designing their new store, so there is a lot of effort if you see globally what is happening on the stores of future. Okay, there is already more than 100 engineers working with IKEA only on stores of future technology. Okay, what are they doing? What are they trying to do? They are just trying to simplify customer journey, availability, so that whatever somebody is looking for in their store, it's very easy for customer to find that, to shop, so that the customer journey is simplified. That is where the focus should be. Simplify customer journey. Rest of the complexity, please do not buy, include, don't complicate your life. That's my take in all of that.
That's actually very interesting, because on some side, we are fully aligned with the idea of simplification. In fact, to the extent that you'll see our brand logo and the tagline that is called Retention Simplified, because we do feel the subject can be overwhelming and it can be a little alarming to look at all the different things that capabilities are brought to the table. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to use the platform you're buying, and that's where the overwhelming stuff has to move towards simplification. All for it. So in terms of the kind of bets Vishal seems to be placing, and forever do you have a different perspective, Zahid, because you're also in the fashion industry. Very interesting space from its evolution. Do you draw your inspiration from some really good remark, or would there be another counterpart which would say that, omnichannel is the way to go, and you want to be more serious about fulfillment?
Thank you for the question. See, I would say,
I'm totally aligned with Vishal that as a brand, you should actually focus on providing the convenience to the customer rather chasing for technology. You need to see what is more relevant for your brand, for your product. For us, Omni is actually a thing of the past. I remember that we used over the last few years, couple of years, in all the forums, we are only talking about Omni app. I don't see any other topic. It's all one, but it's all given. Omni is given now. And what we also need to understand, when you say Omni, you mean to say you are multi-channel or are you very omni-channel? Having a website, selling online and selling via the store, that makes you a multi-channel brand. Omni-channel is something that where your inventory works for you. No matter wherever your inventory is there, you should have the capability to expose it to all of your customers. That is a true omni-channel experience. And in terms of if I talk about our own brand, so we are able to manage that. We were awarded last year as well for our own implementation. So we were doing it in a nicer way. We are multi-channels. We are selling through marketplaces. We have our own website. We have many stores. We have the capability to make our inventory available across all our channels, basis our preferences, and we can expose that to our customers. And it is all up to the customers. If they prefer to buy it online, they can buy it online. If they wanted to come at the store and experience the store, experience the product on their body, so they can do that as well. What we actually focus upon is how do we provide a unified experience to all kind of customers, whether they're coming online, whether they're coming via the offline. How do you convert a customer who is coming online? How do you provide an experience or an opportunity to make that customer comes to your store? Or if somebody comes to your store, how do you actually convert that customer into an online store so that you can provide a unified experience? Click and collect, as Vishal picked that topic, that is a very interesting emerging topic. We might probably focus on that as well. That if you want to provide a unified experience, so if somebody is buying, coming online, so how do you provide the customer ability, the good thing about click and collect is that if you like something, if you want it immediately, so you can provide a customer an option that this product is available at a nearby store. So if you have an urgency, you can go there, try the product, and pick that from the store immediately. In the same way, you provide an experience to a customer wherein if the customer wanted to exchange their product, he likes the product, but the size is not fitting. So you can provide an option wherein you can see that where is the next size available, like a smaller size or a larger size. You can actually see at which store it is available. You can go there and quickly replace that. So that kind of experiences the brand should actually focus upon, providing convenience to the customer, give it to the customer from wherever the customer wanted to buy. There are more channels coming up. Social commerce is growing. WhatsApp commerce is growing. There are many counters outside which are focusing upon WhatsApp commerce, live commerce. Somebody has touched. That is also an emerging topic which the brand should focus upon. That's about it. That's my view on that.
So adding to that, Ankur, some of the same. So we have 5 stores in UAE. So there's no warehouse. Okay. So we have opted the same culture, and for the customer, we have offered same pickup at store and return at store also. So people are coming, returning and store a product, exchanging it with 3 more products. They're buying more products. So the kind of experience and the kind of customer behavior in UAE is a little different. Although many Indians are there, but still they love to buy in the shop, right? Although Noon.com and other players are doing good, although they're doing down and up, that's happening. But I'm saying these 5 stores in UAE has helped us understand the customer behavior there, and being this omni-channel experience and real-time inventory available for all the stores is really helping us out and touching the customer, engaging with the customer, right? So this is a real experience we have recently.
I just want to add what has been said. I hope everyone is listening. Please don't do click and collect if you do not understand operationally how hard it is to service click and collect. That's number one. Number two, the cost structure behind click and collect. If you do not understand that, please do not do it. What I mean, I'll give you an example. If you are in a retailer and you have article size of more than 100,000 different SKUs that you sell, and let's suppose you have 100, for the sake of example, 100 stores in the country. So for a 100,000 article base and 100 stores, just multiply, and then you, on top of that, you need to provide a live inventory updates to your entire e-commerce backend. So the only company that makes money in this process is AWS or Google Cloud. Because the amount of data they need to process real time for all of this, just for showing the availability that 4 units are there in this store, you go and buy. See, why click and collect is working in Europe is because you charge £5 for it. In India, it is free. Why you have to do click and collect? Sorry. So maybe it is convenience. You're not at home. You're working mother. You're not at home. So if courier guy comes up, you're not there. So maybe it should not be click and collect. It is buy online and pick in store, which means you ship from some nearest distribution micro fulfillment center or whatever it is to a particular store rather than the home address. So that is different from click and collect. So it's a word of caution from my suggestion here. Before we bite into all these jargons, please, I'm a fan of simplification because the amount of technology that is in the back end, the mess that it can create, it's very difficult.
So that is why I said that we have done it for UI for only 5 stores, just to simplify it, and not for India 100 stores. We're not doing that for that.
So while this might sound like an exciting buzzword, and you might just go back and tell your team that you want to start click and collect, but like he said, at Vishal's level, and this is a large company with global operations, still saying that this is probably not the best time for us to enter this space yet, because the underlying technology infrastructure can be quite overwhelming, and whether this makes sense for your business or not is another argument that can hold. So that's why you need to be cautious. But in my understanding of this group's conversation, what seems like is the tech people, the leaders who have been doing this at a meaningful level, are all very clear that from a customer experience standpoint, this is not table stakes. If you're offering a certain customer that you can do click and collect, make sure you have the ability on the back end to fulfill it. If you're saying we'll deliver in 30 minutes, make sure you have a systems in place to make that happen in real time, in very practical fashion, right? Unless you have that in place to just say this is a marketing claim, it's probably going to backfire, right? That's the reality. And to string together data from various sources, you will need a mechanism by which it all comes together. And that's where, while the personalized communication across channels can be a next step, the underlying hygiene, and that's probably a 10-year journey for the industry, in my assessment, because all of you have been on this transformation journey. This company's been around online since 2012. So I'm from the impression is it's taken them that long to even say this with confidence. If somebody now does this on any of my 100 stores or this touch point, I have the infrastructure at the back end to make it happen. Right? And a lot of people have built this in-house, and some people are doing it as a service. The choice has to be made clear.
Yeah, so Ankur, there is one more important topic because time is less. Government of India has come out with the Data Privacy Act. You are all aware of that. There are 2 pages on consent management that I would suggest everyone to read the draft document. It's there on the website. So, with all due respect to the new channels, we are talking about connecting interactions and all that. There is a regulatory framework that is coming in place. So if there are retailers, they have deemed acceptance, they pre-ticked when you fill and register yourself. Please get rid of that. Move or plan the migration to an active consent. That's number 1. Number 2, all that data that you are collecting on behalf of customer, iOS already has a regulatory guideline. That's an Apple. They publish the developer page that gives customer an option to delete your account and data. And the compliance is quite a lot. If you do not do that, you will not be able to release on iOS your next version of app. So hence you will see a lot of apps only available for Android, not for iOS. Why? Because they can't comply to the strict guideline from Apple. So one side you have Government of India, on the other side even the Play Store is coming out with their own stuff. So
one part, other side is you have the cookie information going.
Absolutely
All
going.
the
So
place,
why it is
it's
going.
first party data is going to be extremely interesting to work on.
So when we talk about connected interactions across channels, there is a whole lot of compliance headed towards our retailers. You need to be very cognizant what you do, what you buy today, tomorrow. The people like I mentioned, AWS and all these people will make money. Next, the auditors and the compliance officers. So be very cautious.
I might caution Vishal is on the edge of scaring off a bunch of people from a bunch of these ideas, but well, sure.
So I'm not scared. I'm just saying.
But that's the reality, right? You have to be conscious of these issues.
Actually, to add to Vishal's point, I wanted to add one more question. Because, this word only sounds amazing. Everybody talks about only fulfillment, being close to the customer. But only return is a topic in itself. We can have a panel discussion on only return. Because it's very easy.
Day-long workshop, but
it's very easy to fulfill an order through the store. But imagine a return coming to the store with the complexities of marketplace to have the video recordings, camera recordings, particular camera recordings, how it's opened up. And imagine that Uber store guy. We have 2,000 stores in the country, fulfilling out of 2,000 stores in the country. Imagine that guy, after a lot of headache has learned fulfillment, to learn return and match the complexities of marketplace. So word of caution, only is amazing, but processes have to be, the foremost thing is processes. You will lose so much money that you will not imagine. So just a word of caution.
So the answer is, do not open your store inventory on marketplaces if you don't know how to do it.
Absolutely.
Give it to experts like we have TCI Supply Chain Solutions. Give it to those experts who know how to do it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you'll end up losing money.
Absolutely. And you'll not know where you're losing money. That's also the beauty of it. Sorry, just adding a little caution.
No, by all means, I think that's fair enough. Given that we have last 3 minutes of the conversation left, I thought if the audience has any questions to bring up, you could. Or else I'm going to ask a very pointed question on your favorite brand experience. I think that's just a single rapid fire kind of an answer across the room. That's all I probably have time for. Does anybody have a question from the audience? Go on.
I would like to thank Mr. Vishal for pitching the right topic, simplifying the customer's journey, not complicating the omnichannel. So we as an organization strongly believe that not only simplifying the customer's journey in this next generation omnichannel management, also simplifying the life of employee. Like you rightly presented, how to handle the return and all. Apart from this topic, I have a group of friends which is mad retailer. We had a discussion about is there any possibility in future to having a price strategy of like dynamic pricing we see in airlines. Is it possible in future, or will there be any strategy of retailer in future that to implement dynamic pricing strategy for merchandise? Like in weekends, you offer the premium product in higher MRP, and in weekdays you offer the same product in the lower MRP or vice versa. Is there anybody or any possibility in the future? That's my question.
Who wants to take that question? Vishal?
Vishal, take the good part of it, I'll take the bad part of it.
Okay. So, see, dynamic pricing as a concept is primarily from US and Europe, where you have a CRP and RRP concept. Customer retail price and retail recommended price. Okay. In our country, it is MRP. So you can't, in dynamic pricing, you can only reduce, you can't label something higher.
Well, the power discount from a culture perspective, anyway, we're so used to discounting, right? So 60% or 40%, that's the choice we make.
So point is discounting is a huge topic. And there are various service providers, they provide algos also. How do you do? And the term is very fancy, MTO. I heard this term.
Like
markdown optimization. I heard this term in 2016 in my previous company. They said, MDO, we are going to launch. So I asked when I can get it in India. So they said, no, it doesn't work in India because you are an MRP country. So it's a very good topic. It works maybe in products where you are curating the product, an artist creating a product, which is less in number. You can do bidding and all that. Okay, hence the dynamic pricing can work. But how it works in e-commerce is, if you have shopped anything on Big Billion Day, there is a set of inventory that is available at maybe an iPhone, which is available at 49,000. Maybe 2 minutes by the time you're looking for applying your credit card discount, the prices become 49,000 to 54,000. So it is dynamic pricing in India works, less discount, more discounting to less discounting and then less discounting. So you want it's a marketing trick. So you want more people to come on your platform, and there is a set of inventory, maybe 10 units kept at a very high discount. Maybe the next set of inventory is kept at lower discount, and so on and so forth. So it's like a surge pricing, but in a reverse way. Okay. So this is how it works.
So is that something you employ?
So I'll get the negative part of it. So in my previous assignment, I was with Jubilant Foodworks, and this was the start of the journey. And we used to look at Amazon, Zalando for models, and this word dynamic discounting, all this used to come in, and people used to give this, that why don't you guys do it? And we used to take a lot of pride that our returns in India were 10 percentage point lower than Zalando or Amazon. Common variable discounting, dynamic discounting. Today, India return rate is the same as the world.
I bought it and I got a better price, right?
Absolutely. So the entire online marketplace ecosystem is promoting returns, easier returns, convenience on returns. Imagine if I bought an iPhone today at 55,000 rupees, which is tomorrow available at 49,000 rupees, I will return it tomorrow. Who pays the cost? Who pays the cost of logistics? Who pays the cost of fulfillment? Not the marketplace, it's the brand. So all these jargons are amazing, right? Dynamic discounting, big words, right? But you have to be very careful in the business model that you are operating.
I'm afraid I have that red light flashing in front of me, so you can of course catch Apoorv offline and you can have that conversation. On that note, I think thank you so much the panelists. I would have loved to go into a lot more depth in the subject, but given the time, we could only do justice so much. So while this is overwhelming and potentially complicated, keep it simple is the message. And my plug is to say that if user engagement and retention is a topic you want to simplify, maybe you should just drop by at our stall right outside and we'll see you around. Thank you so much, everyone.